You're watching Roll for Crit. It's the week of February 24th, 2020. Toy Fair took place in New York this past week, and also perhaps coincidentally, a whole bunch of board game publishers have announced some of their new projects for the upcoming year. We're going to highlight some of the ones that we're excited about right now.
Capstone Games announced a new game that takes place in New York. This is New York Zoo and is all about managing the zoo there, building up different exhibits, as well as trying to breed your creatures and trying to finish your zoo before anyone else. From acclaimed designer Uwe Rosenberg, you'll be either deciding to expand your zoo by getting new tiles or breeding your animals, making sure you get it at the right time in order to get the maximal amount of animals added to your zoo.
Cryptozoic has announced Dark Knight's Metal, a brand new expansion for the DC deck building game, which is based on the Dark Knight's Metal storyline from the DC Comics. You will have to stop all of these evil versions of Batman that have come out from different universes. You've got to recruit different members of the Justice League, whichever DC heroes are lying around, and take them on. This is of course compatible with any of the other DC deck building games, but it throws in some new stuff, including a new keyword metal, which appears on some new foil cards.
Fantasy Flight has announced a new expansion for their Fallout board game titled Atomic Bonds. This whole expansion is designed about one thing in mind: co-op. Unlike many of the other scenarios which are competitive, this one allows you to replace those with cooperative ones, most of them being something like the Brotherhood of Steel versus the Enclave. At the beginning, you will choose which side you want to side with, which has different quest objectives, allowing you to have different games for relatively similar scenarios. Of course, there are going to be new cards and abilities added as well to support that sort of cooperative experience. You can even help with some combat things or healing other people as well. So if you're looking for a more friendly Fallout world, this may be the expansion you want.
Two new game announcements from Yellow Games. First is Korra: Rise of an Empire. This is a Greek-themed civilization building game in which you are trying to build a city in ancient Greece to the best of your ability, better than all of your opponents, using things like your military strength, your philosophical prowess, and making sure that you have enough money to get more points than everybody else in the end. They've also got a new dexterity game called Flyin' Goblin, and this one involves goblin armies that you are launching via catapult. So you're actually going to launch them at different rooms that are inside of the game box, and depending on which types of goblins you launch, they may give you special abilities, or they may reward you with diamonds. Whoever has the most diamonds wins, or if you're able to build your special goblin stronghold and not have it be knocked down by any other players, you can win that way as well.
Rush MD from Lucky Duck Games is taking a new twist on worker placement games. The way this game works is you are all working in a new hospital, and each of you will have your own doctor piece for placing and trying to help out patients, as well as nurse pieces, which you can use that anyone can use. The trick is everyone's workers are actually sand timers. So you're gonna have to be against the clock and trying to use the sand timers correctly and try to help as many patients as possible. Each round only lasts 4 minutes, and there'll be 4 rounds. So this game only lasts for 16 minutes. They say that it's designed to add that pressure that is in real world of having to make sure the patient survives in time and you're on the clock, but it seems it doesn't include the additional stress of the crippling debt you'll have from med school.
The Op is debuting a brand new line of escape room style games called Coded Chronicles, the first of which is themed around Scooby-Doo. It's called Scooby-Doo Escape from the Haunted Mansion. Really original title there, but that is what you will be trying to do with your friends, trying to solve clues and use a special new way of decoding and decrypting the clues that you are going to find. It sounds like this will be a one-time playthrough similar to other escape room games. We'll see how the Scooby-Doo theme works and what other themes they bring to future games.
We're now going to return to the world of Cape Crusaders and Dastardly Villains with 2 new games from Ravensburger. First up, we've got Wonder Woman Challenge of the Amazons. This one is actually cooperative, with each player taking on the role of famous Amazons, including obviously Wonder Woman, in order to defend Themyscira, their homeland. You will choose of one of 3 major Wonder Woman villains, Circe, Ares, or Cheetah, to defend against. We've also, though, got a new addition to the Villainous line, which initially was only the old Disney movie properties, but now we'll have Marvel with Marvel Villainous. This, though, is not an expansion. It actually plays a little differently, and instead of each player having their own deck to deal with, as well as their own board, there's going to be a cooperative deck, because in the Marvel universe, really, all the heroes are in the same universe. Now, for now, as far as we can tell there, you can't be mixed with the other sets, but we'll see what the future holds.
The Deadlies is a new one from Smirk and Dagger Games. This one is all about the 7 deadly sins personified as these mischievous little animals that you can see in some fun artwork in the game. You're actually going to be trying to get rid of the sins from your hand, and if you can shed them all from your hand, then you win. You'll be able to get rid of more if you discard them in suits or in straights or different combinations like that, according to what the cards have. Simple, light filler game. This looks like The Deadlies.
As we said in our introduction, there was the New York City Toy Fair. Hasbro was there, and they had a bunch of stuff for D&D and Magic the Gathering. You can take a look for what you want, including from their investors presentation, including some first looks at the Ikora booster packs, which is the next Magic set. But before that, they actually announced a whole new Magic product titled Jumpstart. Now, the best analogy I have for this is that Smash Up. Each pack will contain 20 cards that have a theme going around it, and you buy 2 packs, you put them together, and you have a 40-card deck. This will include basic lands that you need to play said cards. The themes, some of them can vary, so 2 goblin sets could actually be a little different. Some of them are unique, like they said, a unicorn, because there's only like 20 or so unicorns in the entire history of Magic. And there are possible of 121 different themes and combinations. There is going to be a pre-release if you want to try this out. Jumpstart will also include cards unique to the Jumpstart set, as well as many reprints. But if you are a fan of standard or modern, don't worry, you will not have to try to open these packs to find those cards. These cards are only legal in the internal formats.
WizKids announced a new party game called El Maestro. All players are going to be trying to copy what the maestro is drawing in the air, but they don't know what it is. So depending on how talented and how artistically inclined the maestro is, everyone has to try to guess, and hopefully they will be able to draw it the way they're supposed to. There are a couple other of WizKids games that we're not going to go into too much detail on from the past few weeks that they announced, both of which, one was about a cake, one was about meeple construction. They were all about like 3D, like dexterity and goofy building stuff. So it seems like WizKids is really going all in on these party games, these little small box, especially kind of party games.
Speaking of more lighter party games, GameRight also announced like at least 10 different games, I think. One of which I'm pretty sure was a Kickstarter for us a long time ago. So that's pretty cool. But let's not ignore some of these announcements. I mean, the Magic thing, I think, very interesting idea. One, great way to get a lot of reprints in, and like for you, for example, remember when we talked about Transformers, and I think they might have got this from it. You like the one you just open 2 packs and play. That's what this is, and that's a lot simpler. And it's also cool that there's some themes and randomness going on, but it doesn't seem, at least to me, too bad. I mean, we'll see until what possible cards are in there.
Yeah.
But I think the people who are going to get the most advantage out of this are actually the resellers of cards, because what they're
isn't that always who gets the best?
Well,
deal?
no, but what they're going to do is they have piles of commons, uncommons, and things like that. They'll design their own 20-pack cards, and someone's going to make their own version of like custom like cubes, in essence, what they usually call when people make their own packs for drafting, so you don't have to buy new packs. It's gonna pretty much, people are gonna make custom Smash Up sets for Magic.
Interesting. I mean, that's kind of fun. Now, you said Smash Up, and I think that really is the correct comparison. But I definitely saw a bunch of people talking about this when it was announced, thinking of Keyforge as well. That they're like thinking maybe that's is Wizards seeing that and thinking, oh, maybe we should get a piece of that market. Where
It is,
non-deck
but
building.
I guess because in my head,
the fact that you mix 2 things together.
There is something, it's not just I buy one and I'm done and I keep it. Like, I could, like, if let's say we were to each buy 2 packs and play, I could be like, oh, can I see your goblin half? I'll give you my unicorn and switch it out.
Yeah.
Which I like that a lot, because I've also been playing a lot of Smash Up recently, so I think you could do some really clever ones. And, like I said, those secondary markets could come up with some much cooler, weirder themes besides just creature type, though. That's where I tend to lead.
It's cool. It's cool that they're still experimenting with new formats like that. I think that's nice.
Yeah. Hopefully it goes a little better than some of their other products.
They can't all be winners, folks. Now, speaking of things that aren't always winners, Fallout, that's the one I'm really interested in, because I feel like everybody, when that game came out, really said, I think you said it too when you
oh yeah, no, I remember.
It's like this, why isn't this co-op, right? It seems like it should be. So I love that they're coming out with this and now changing that.
The factions are always a cool thing. I mean, if you talk to a lot of fans who play games, especially the more recent ones, I don't know about the older ones, but people are going to be like, yeah, no, I sided with the Brotherhood of Steel on this and this or that, or maybe in my case, like I argue why the factions are bad in Fallout 4. There's a lot of interesting discussions there, and there could be some really cool, fun ways the quests act differently, because like if they do have one going to everyone's favorite New Vegas of the Caesar's Legion versus the NRC, I think I might be mixing that up, but they act very differently. So if you're siding with one side or the other, you're going to be playing very differently. One's going to be more aggressive versus one's probably more defensive or delivering resources.
Yeah, it's interesting. I hope it gives the game maybe a little more life, because I feel like it just kind of came out and nobody was super thrilled.
I don't know. I mean, it got expansions and
That's
stuff.
true.
And then
It's
probably
true.
also for those who are disappointed from the Fallout 76 can now get this.
Yeah, there's something for you to look forward to.
The Lucky Duck game. I don't know if you looked at that at all.
That sounds fun. Yeah, Rush MD with, yeah, I mean, that's a very funny concept.
No, I mean, the idea that your workers are also your timer is just really... I really want to see how that works out. Like, it's not something I would have thought about.
I love how these game genres evolve, and like first, now the workers are dice. It's like, now you know what? Now they're timers. Like, what's next? They're just going to be all
You're
kinds
the
of-
worker.
Yeah, right. It's fun when they do crazy things like that. Similarly, I feel like the flying goblin one is sort of another thing where it's like, using meeples in a new weird way, throwing them around the place. I like that.
I was actually a little surprised with the Cryptozoic one, because the Dark Metal line just sounds like a Crisis pack. Because, it's a big multiversal, everyone, including the villains, had to stop these Batmen because, Batman's overpowered.
But instead, it's just a standard.
From what I can tell.
Yeah, expansion. That's what it looks like. Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting. It's a big one. So we'll see how it adds in. We're always concerned, I think, right, about the foil cards, because
Well, actually, Cryptozoic,
they have good ones.
their last deck building one, I'm blanking on it. It's based on the game that's like rated like R. It's like the Epic Spell Wars deck building game, had some foil cards, and as long as you sleeve them, obviously, that's fine.
Okay.
They at least mine did not seem to warp as some other things that make me worry mine.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, and there's just some other cool. I mean, the Scooby-Doo escape room. That's
That sounds really cute. Yeah, I think.
I think that's a cool. I mean, it's a perfect license for it. And I'm sure with the op, we always speculate like a Harry Potter one could be fun. It does seem like we haven't seen really themed escape rooms in the home. So
Well, yeah, because usually the companies that made them
They don't have them.
Yeah, it's not like Fantasy Flight or something.
Right.
I mean, it's perfect sense to have a theme. I mean, as you already said, Scooby-Doo's already an obvious one. Harry Potter's an easy one too. Anything with magic.
hopefully that's cool, because escape room games, sometimes they can be hit or miss, but if you have the right group and the right theme, they can be fun. So yeah, that's a lot. I think we covered pretty much the highlights there, at least as far as I'm concerned. But we'd be interested in hearing which of these games you guys are most excited for. For some reason, there's a lot, or if there's anything else we missed from the Toy Fair, some of those Game Right games, maybe you were at the Toy Fair.
Honestly, I just loved it, even if it's not board game related, to hear what you're excited about from the Toy Fair. I was watching the Hasbro live stream, which was pretty cool, and definitely a lot of things hurt my wallet as the year comes forward.
Yes, let us know how your wallets are going to be hurting. Talk to us in that comment section. Thanks for watching, guys. Of course, there will be more announcements and more stuff coming. Stay tuned to our channel. Until then, though, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Will.
This was Roll for Crit.
Here's an idea. Support our Patreon or like and subscribe to this channel for more.
Subscribing gives you a +2 to your charisma stat.